Call of Duty's 20th anniversary is marked by the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, and this game has a ton of content to offer. I've covered the multiplayer and campaign in 2 separate videos. Check those out if you're interested. Today, I'm going to be talking about zombies and basically telling you what it brings to the table and follow that up with a few tips and tricks. So, let's jump right in. Unlike your traditional round-based zombies with linear levels, you now have an open-ended zombies mode which is best described as DMZ meets Outbreak. The ultimate objective is to exfil after collecting loot and gearing up for higher difficulty areas. You start towards the edge of the map where you have easier hordes of zombies, but as you move towards the center, the enemies get progressively harder. This is denoted by a threat level that is indicated by the colors on the attack map, clear zones being the easiest, orange being the second tier, and red being the hardest. So you gotta make sure that you're well equipped to face the threat level of the area you're playing through. But zombies aren't the only threats you'll face in Urzikstan. Peppered throughout the map are groups of mercenaries who can make life hard for you, especially while you're fighting off the undead. To survive this mode, you'll need good gear and a plan of action before you deploy. The map is littered with contracts and points of interest, which have different objectives, and finishing these gives you reward drifts, with random rewards like the cryo rounds for example, that can freeze enemies in their tracks. Finding armor vests with higher capacity is also essential, as those pesky mercenaries can drop your health within seconds. You could use points you earn from completing activities and killing the undead to buy kill streaks and plates, among other things. When you exfil successfully, you get to keep everything you've looted, including self-revives, armor capacity upgrades being vests, kill streaks, and weapons. But if you die, you lose everything and will deploy back in Urzikstan with nothing. You even have weapon upgrades and pack-a-punch tiers divided into 3, depending on the threat level of the area you pick them up at. Once you exfil, before starting another session, you can give your operator of choice the tools needed to get the job done. Colas like the Juggernaut, for example, increase your max health and give you better survivability, while the Elemental Pop Can applies a random mod with every round you fire. So, now that I've given you an overview of what to expect and do in this mode, let's start with some tips and tricks, shall we? Firstly, using vehicles is very helpful in this game. Not only does it make traversal much easier, it also gives you the ability to avoid taking damage from unarmed enemies. Be advised that when extracting, you will have a ton of zombies all up in your business, so use these vehicles to steer clear of danger till your chopper is ready. Second, don't fall into the trap of only killing zombies for XP. Doing contracts and discovering POIs is much more rewarding. This way you run into bosses, more enemies, and most importantly, more loot and XP. The loot and XP brings me to the third tip. Leveling up your weapons in zombies isn't a bad idea at all. Not only do you not have to be in a sweat festival lobby to level up guns, but extracting with them in zombies will unlock them for you in multiplayer as well. So you could essentially get a weapon gated behind a higher level fairly early on. Add double XP tokens to the equation and your XP and gun levels are gonna go brrrr. Find other players in teams. This one is especially useful if you're playing solo. Even though the limit per squad is 3, you can have up to 6 players in your team by teaming up with others during the session. Mark contracts or whatever you want to do, have people to revive you and help you out in overcrowded areas, and profit. Much like in DMZ, the missions or quests in zombies are broken up into different acts, and completing these missions gives your session a structure of sorts instead of just roaming about aimlessly. Plus, completing certain missions gives you weapon blueprints that you can then use in multiplayer as well. So now that I've summarized zombies for you, I'd like to know what your thoughts are. Are you enjoying this mode? Sound off in the comments, drop a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and it's your boy Palak signing off.
PlayStation